then I started rapping. Hey, I heard them niggas keep talking shit until I pull up clapping. Hey, we the ones who get the drop and pull up with that static. I say we the ones who get the drop and pull up with them drinks. Hey, Lil Buddy and them said they was real, but them little niggas fake. Mama told me always be yourself, don't be nothing that you ain't. We was broke, we was just eating noodles, now we eating steak. Niggas back then I ain't trapping at my granny crib, you know I made it happen. Put my life into these rhymes and then I started rapping. Hey, I heard them niggas keep talking shit until I pull up clapping. Hey, we the ones who get the drop and pull up with that static. I say we the ones who get the drop and pull up with them drinks. Hey, Lil Buddy and them said they was real, but them little niggas fake. Mama told me always be yourself, don't be nothing that you ain't. We was broke, we was just eating noodles, now we eating steak. Till I pull up clapping. Hey, we the ones who get the drop and pull up with that static. I say we the ones who get the drop and pull up with them drinks. Hey, Lil Buddy and them said they was real, but them little niggas fake. Mama told me always be yourself, don't be nothing that you ain't. We was broke, we was just eating noodles, now we eating steak. We are live, y'all. Once again, it's on. Change of plans. Once again, it's on. That's all I can tell you. Y'all just ready. Let it all out Monday. Let it all out on a Monday. We're going to wait on some people to come on. Tell you. Great time to be here in this region, I can tell you that. Great time to be here. It starts with us. Waiting on the other people to come on tonight. I was going to have Dr. Reeves come on, but y'all, we got some stuff we got to let out tonight. So we'll let her come on tomorrow. We got some stuff we got to let out. Whole bunch of stuff to let out today. Y'all share, invite, let's get everybody on. Let's get everybody on tonight. Everybody on spring break, it look like. I know the Baldwin County schools and Saraland went back to school this week. Everybody ain't on spring break. Tell you, man. I had a chance to go to Gulf Shore this weekend, man. Boy. Let me add all these on here. Tell you. Well, we was on the website today. Good article went out today.
top 4 teams in every region, 1 through 7A. Telling you, we're gonna talk about that tonight. We gonna ruffle some feathers tonight, y'all. Y'all get ready. I go to 2A. What we got here? That's 7A. We ain't got them in no order. 4A, 6A, 3A, 5A, and all of them. All the A's right there, y'all. I told y'all 5A ain't nothing to play with. 5A, I hate to tell everybody, 5A loaded, yeah. When I was doing the research on this, y'all, 5A is loaded. Capital L. Five A is loaded. I'm talking about with a capital L. 6A is y'all. Let me get the 6A. There they go and put it on the screen. 6A is okay though. Six A okay. It's an okay division. Y'all, we got a lot of schools down here that don't have any of the top players in the state on it. You know, if you see a school with a logo on it instead of a person, the person that's on the screen is the highest ranked kid at their school. And if you don't see nobody, that means they don't have nothing. That don't mean they don't have a good team. They just, I guess, have a team concept. Just let it all out, man. We got every A. It is. Tonight, y'all. We got all the A's here. Hey, the John Spencer, the top man up in Saraland, Tank Jones. one of the top players in the whole country. Him and EJ Crowell. Um, then you got Nick Hampton from Gulf Shores, and you got Aiden Schamberger. All these kids got Division I offers, y'all. So that's how we come up with this. Tell you, let's say Steel Viger, first official day. I guess a practice up in Saraland today. So, that's pretty good. They got sectionals in Saraland. They got the sectionals up there starting on Friday, I think. Yeah, they got the sectionals up there. So that's gonna be interesting. I'll be in Hattiesburg this weekend, y'all. I'll be down at the SSAC Conference Championship, first college meet of the season for me. Waiting on the other panel to come on. They've been on vacation. I guess they ready for spring practice to start. But yeah, man, let it all out Monday. I guess I can pick my top four. I can pick my top four tonight, y'all. I'll pick my top four teams in every division tonight. Tell you. That's all of them right there, y'all. Man, we got some. I'm telling you, man, we got some good players down here, y'all. Got some good players down here. Very good player. 6, 9, 13, 16, 19. 19 players represent 19 schools. Tell you. Everybody else got the banner representing their schools. Nothing wrong with that. Especially if you're T.R. Miller. T.R. Miller was one of the top teams in the state last year. They just got a team environment, man. And y'all, every team is different. And I don't want nobody to get confused when I say that. Every team concept is different. Some teams are star-studded. Some teams are not star-studded. They just got a bunch of good players on the same team. You know, every kid is not a top kid in the country. We just chose to put some of them on the screen. We didn't want to put multiple kids on the screen for this graphic. Like Jackson. Jackson got 5 or 6 legit kids. We didn't want the 4A banner to be just all Jackson. So we picked Landon Duckworth, the leader. Gunnar Rivers, not the only top kid on their team. You know, they got about 4 kids over there that's real good. And believe it or not, y'all, they got a real legitimate chance. They got a legitimate chance. They got to go to Jackson this year. Along with Sarah Land and a couple more folks got to go up there. Jackson got to go to Demopolis this year. Not saying it's gonna be a major difference, but you know, change the atmosphere, man. Kids operate in different atmospheres. I know the second game last year, Jackson beat the hell out of St. Michael up there. Um, so I'm telling you, still waiting on Alberta and Robertsdale to get their coaches. They the last two standing. Um, last two on the total poll. Tell you, but man, I'm telling you, man, it's an outstanding graphic here. You got the big boy Michael Bowens from WS Neal on here. Tell you know, and y'all in that 1A and 2A divisions, they might not have no kids ranked in the country, but they got some football players. I can tell y'all that. They got some very good football players. I know in 1A, they got that Jaden Reeser up there at Milry. That's a name. Go ahead, circle that name. Leroy got a couple kids, McIntosh, Sweetwater. They got some kids. Southern Choctaw got some kids, well-coached team. Tell you, these are all the Region 1 teams in the state of Alabama. Working on doing a Region 2 one. And I'm probably going to cover all regions this year. Since some teams starting practice today, we wanted to have this going today. Tell you. Let's see. I'm gonna tell y'all this. Y'all look. I don't need no help with this. I want to see what did all this training work? Did the training go with the program that you with? Or you just been training in vain? Wolfpack checking in. Y'all represent y'all school, man. Tell you, man. I'm talking about, boy. I know I was working on this 4 o'clock this morning. I know some of y'all got some notifications. Make sure y'all go to the website and subscribe. Make sure you go to the website and subscribe to the website. Tell you. Make sure y'all go over there and subscribe. Tell you. Great time to be here, y'all. I'm telling you. Football is back. It's back, boy. It is back, y'all. Tell you. If you ain't been doing nothing, don't expect nothing. Tell you. If you been a zero, go ahead and multiply times that number, because that's what you're going to get out of it. Tell you. Baseball playoffs kicking in. Hold on. Baseball playoffs off to the races. Y'all, let me put that link. Williamson checking in. I see y'all over there. Let me see if I can try to put the link so you can go read the article. Top 4. Who are your top 4? See. Okay. Great time to be here. And some schools got multiple kids. Just like I say, it wouldn't be fair we put just one school on there all the time. at least put, at least we did go back and get the logos, but that took a long time. I don't care what nobody say. Y'all, this a lot of tedious work, y'all. We be doing um to make what we do so great. Um, yeah, man. Great time to be here, y'all. Great. When I say great time to be here, a great time. I'll tell you, man. Oh, we got breaking news. Hold on, y'all. Let me have to go into the bank real quick. Hold on, let me go. I knew it was some. I knew it was some, y'all. I knew it was some. I had to tell y'all. I knew it was some. I knew it was some. Y'all, let me get that down there and put it on the screen real quick. Tell you, boy, we gonna have a company soon. But yeah, breaking news. We got a satellite office in Alabama. Alabama. Tell you, we gonna have some kids on here from the Birmingham area. Tell you, we got a little studio up there in Birmingham now. God is so good. Telling you. He is so good, man. We got correspondents. Man, we got people on the ground up in Birmingham. So if you in the Birmingham area, uh y'all, we gonna be getting our Birmingham people on here soon. So they can start talking as well. Yeah, our cuz sport has moved up the chain. Telling you, we are moving on up. Who would have ever thought it? Y'all, at least once a month, y'all, I'm gonna be going to Birmingham. Say, we are needed. I didn't think we were needed up there. Uh, but tell you, I know y'all say, boy, he held on to that. Yeah, sure didn't. I ain't let you know nothing till it was time. Got a satellite office up there in Birmingham. Tell you, I'm gonna be going to Jimmy Nick's barbecue. Full moon, all of them. Tell you, it's going down, it's going down, it's going down. Tell me. Tell you. But y'all went over to Gus Show, man. Woof. Ain't nothing like Gus Show. Tell you, Gus Show got the new school, man. Listen, y'all, I ain't holding nobody back from transferring to Gus Show. I can promise you that. Tell you. But that school is huge. Y'all, they gonna be 7A. Yeah, they'll be 7A, y'all. Y'all just gonna get ready. Y'all, yeah, man, that's gonna be a 7A school. Ain't nothing like it, y'all. Ooh. Ooh, state of the art, everything. Boy. Tell you, I ain't holding nobody back from going to Thompson. I ain't holding nobody back from going to Hoover. If you want to be at the upper echelon schools, go. Tell you. But y'all, I saw a post today. It said if you on the bench at your school, don't go to none of these big time schools. You're gonna be further on the bench. I'm gonna say that for the people waiting in the back. Oh yeah, y'all know like Monday. Y'all know I had something in Dakota that I was gonna let out. And then be trying to start mess when you get there and all that. Say, stay where the hell you at. Say, don't be going to no Thompson, no Hoover, no Viger, no Williamson with your mess. Tell you. If your kid mediocre, stay where the hell you at. Tell you. That's the problem. Tell you. Some of the kids don't even know how to perform at that high level. Y'all be talking about taking them, man. No. Leave them kids right where the hell they at. Tell you, get your ass off the bench. That's what I told my nephew. Get your ass off the bench. You want to play, get off the bench. Tell you. Get your ass off the bench. We ain't got no time for it. I tell you that. None whatsoever. Tell you. Spring training starting. If you ain't getting no reps, that's what you're gonna be doing all season. Tell you. Suck it up. Get you a trainer. I'm telling you, everybody had the opportunity to train. And one thing I can't say, it ain't like everybody didn't have no opportunity. Well, you know, my thing is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know, if Thompson wasn't treating him well, it'll be, oh boy, it'll be the best thing to do. But when you in a good spot like that, you winning state championships, and people trying to pull you out, they trying to pull you out for a reason. But you gotta realize he's only a junior. You know, he's only a junior. So I mean, he's only a sophomore that's gonna be a junior. So, you know, yeah, a lot of this stuff, you know, just like Dr. Reeves told us last week, a lot of this stuff is not money. It's just the NIL value is $750,000. So don't get it confused. A lot of people be getting it confused. A lot of that stuff is not cash. you can't go to the bank and withdraw it. Actually, Cole Holland's about to finish his, you know, they're on the back end of school down there. So Cole Holland's still working on that. But he was on here Friday and Saturday, I guess. Was it Saturday he was on here? No, he wasn't on here Saturday. He was on here Friday. Twice. So, I'm telling you, yeah, coaching matters. You know, I wouldn't leave Thompson. I'm gonna tell you this. It's one thing being on the outside, but y'all, when you get a peek of what's on the inside, I wouldn't leave Thompson. Yeah, hope y'all see where we got our satellite office at now. Boy, there's gonna be a lot of football players come on this screen, y'all. Look, it's gonna be a lot more football players coming on the screen this season. It ain't gonna be the same Mobile folks. Y'all, we gonna have Birmingham people on here. We gonna have people from all over the country. Y'all just get ready. We're gonna have college coaches on here. We're gonna have Dr. Reeves on here, giving her take. But I'll tell you, man, this is a great time to be here. It's a great time to be here. Why not be on Football 365 with the unopinionated? I'm telling you, boy, we gonna tell you how it is. Let me see if I might get Dr. Reeves on here, y'all. Let me send her the link. I'm gonna take a commercial. Let's matter of fact, since we talking Thompson, let's just put them on the screen while I send Dr. Reeves this invite. Yeah, buddy. We are coming to a theater near you. Hey. What's this? Oh, that's the Mayor G. Montgomery business. Oh, sorry. Great time to be here. We are getting ready.
And we talk about paying the fee. That's focus. Amazing focus. Got to be locked in to the task at hand. You got to be locked in. I don't want them to be tight. I don't want my football team to be tight because I believe we're extremely talented. You don't have to be tight when you're talented. But I want them to be focused because each of us needs all of us, and we got to be locked into the task at hand. Effort. A football play typically lasts about 4 to 5 seconds. As the head football coach, I'm going to give them all I got every single day. So all I'm asking you to do for 4 to 5 seconds, give me amazing effort. Win the effort battle. Dominate the effort battle. Non-negotiable. And then last but not least, you got to go execute. You got to execute. It sounds good. Sounds good in the air condition, what we want to do, but you got to go out and execute it. And our young men know what it takes. It costs to be a champion. And they're willing every day to pay the fee. And they've shown it each and every day. All right, most of the people, and I said it before, nobody expected us to be here. That's okay. We okay with that. But those 107 young men that I have in our program and those 15 coaches, they're locked in. They understand. They know what we have. When we were putting it all together, to us it's not about getting all the best players and going in the portal and getting all this glitz and glamour. We don't need all that. We need young men that are bought into what we're trying to do and what we're teaching every day, and they have to be the right fit. But it costs to be a champion. And we talk about paying the fee. That's focus.
Yeah, but
Oh, all right. What's the matter with the D? D-I. Hey. Mailman. The mailman. Gotta go to work. Mailman. Gotta go to work. Man, see the snow. The mailman. Gotta go to work. We got a W-O-R-K. Work. I say all day, every day. Work. We got a W-O-R-K. Work. I say all day, every day. Work. Everybody go get some. Put a little bit. Hey. Football. You bet. Football. You bet. All the way. All the way. All the way. Guys, we're the better football team. Yes, oh, man. We're the better football team. Yes, sir. It ain't even close. This thing do not have to be close. Oh, man. It don't have to be close, guys. It don't have to be close. When we got full control, we're going to get 60 minutes. Don't have to be close. We should dominate this team. And when we talk about killing that fly, we get a chance to send a message. We get a chance to kill that fly today, guys, for 60 minutes. Don't let up either. No way.
Y'all, we are here. Back again. Hold on, y'all. Let me download this. Y'all get ready. We about to have the doctor on with us in a minute. Hold on. Let me get situated real quick. The doctor is about to come in, y'all. Let me give y'all a replay on what happened last week. Y'all, the doctor is back. Here we go, y'all. Let me put this on real quick. I'm telling you, man, this is valuable. This is a valuable night for the people that watch our show. I know y'all come here for the news, but this great news is somebody need to hear this. Because we found out that JUCO does count.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, we found this out on the show. Yeah, a lot of people say, "Oh, JUCO don't count."
The JUCO, you graduate from JUCO, you have 2 years of eligibility left. If you graduated in 2024, if you graduate this year, you go into D1, you have 2 years left. If you graduated between 21, 22, and 23, you have an extra year eligibility there.
Yeah.
If you go to a D1, but if you go D2, you only have 2 years eligibility left.
Matter of fact, let's get the doctor on. Hold on 1 second. Wake up, doctor.
Hey, how's it going? I want to say hello to everybody this evening.
Oh, yeah. How you been doing today?
Doing amazing. Hope everybody had a great holiday.
I'm telling you, we about to talk.
Let's do it.
Tonight. Oh, man.
Let's do
Part
it.
2. Talk about this transfer portal. All that good. Hold on. Look like I'm distorted a little bit. Hold
on. Okay.
Simply trying to fix these banners. Spell check keep messing them up. So I'm going to get you on the screen real quick.
Amazing. Okay.
Oh yeah. Doctor, how has it been? Transfer portal wide open right now. The door, college transfer portal is. I'm talking about. They got the door swinging it. They swinging on the door.
They do, and not only that, but the kids that are not in the portal, and we touched on this a little bit on last Monday, when we highlighted the several areas actually, that do not have a portal. They do not have a transfer portal. And that would be the JUCO, which is the 2-year schools, which is the NJCAA, also California JUCOs on the West Coast. They are not in the portal. The NWAC, Oregon and Washington junior college schools are not in the portal. So you have the NAIA schools that do not have a portal. You have USCAA schools that do not have a portal, and NCCAA schools that do not have a portal. So when we talk about the transfer portal with over 800 to 1,000 kids in it, we have an equal amount, if not more, JUCO sophomores that are out there, the 2-year school kids that have no platform to market themselves.
So we got a bunch of JUCO kids that's stuck. It's almost like being in a pocket.
Well, they have to have the support of, and when you say stuck, it's just to be clear, with what we're referring to, with the transfer portal, and just for those who are not familiar with what the transfer portal is. So back in 2018, the NCAA designed this database, which is they call it a portal, but it's a database clearinghouse for um, to manage transfers, to make sure that they all transfers were, in compliance with the NCAA rules and regulations prior to that. Now, what does this mean? Is this anything new transferring? No, kids have been transferring forever. We transfer from one school to the other. Prior to the transfer portal, the process for a kid to transfer was simply to go to their compliance department. Of course, let their coaches know that they have the desire to transfer. If they wanted to have if it's voluntary or whether it's involuntary. Now, voluntary, of course, is when uh, you put yourself in a position to leave a school. Involuntary is, of course, when the coach releases themselves. And it used to be a process wherein the kid would go to the compliance, meet with compliance, and at that time, they would receive their release papers. And they would have to carry these papers to every school that wanted to recruit them. And they would have to submit these papers directly to the coach. No one else could submit those papers for
Yes.
the kids. And so, what the NCAA has done, they have found a way to um, streamline this process. And thus, the portal was born in 2018, where it's a clearinghouse, it's a tool, an actual database where the management of transfer movement, can be better facilitated. And so, with that, the changing of the rules of the transfers and what they can and cannot do has also, uh, you know, magnetized. And so, here we are in this, it was the 2018, 1921, 2, 3, 4, 7 years later. And somehow the students have found a way to master the transfer process. And they seem to think that being a participant in the transfer portal is a glamorous thing. It is not. It is not. It is not. It should not be the desire of any kid to want to be in a pool, POOL, a pool of hundreds and hundreds of candidates who have the same stats, recruitable stats, the same talent, if not better than you. For example, it could be, say you're playing we're going to do football, the running back position, because we know these skill positions. We're going to
Yeah.
say football is that these skill positions go fast. What are the skill positions? And coach, you can, uh, you can
Quarterback,
correct this.
wide
That's
receiver,
it. That's
back,
it. That's it. Yep.
linebacker.
That's right.
He-
That's the one to
Matter of fact,
jersey.
South Alabama quarterback left and went to North Carolina. Yeah, he going to play for Belichick up in North Carolina.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. These
it's,
kids, I was gonna say the skill positions are jersey number 0 to 14. No, I'm just kidding. The singing up 0 to 14. If
I'm
you one,
telling you,
two, three, four, five, you get up in the big numbers, then we're looking at the offensive lineman, defensive lineman. So, but but
exactly.
but referring back to the duplicity of kids that, say for example, they 50 running backs in the portal. You're in the portal, you're in a pool of 50 running backs that have your same talent transfer. You're D1 transfer, and there's 50 kids that are exactly like you. They have same stats, size, height, physicality,
Thing I
classification.
done learned with football. Um, the pro players are still coming back to play. The pro baseball players, they're coming back to play as well. So South Alabama got a guy from the Texas Rangers. He retired from baseball and he came back to play football. And the other guy got all the reps pretty much in the spring and left. So you can't blame South Alabama for having an insurance policy with the, with the guy that played pro. Because if they don't have that insurance policy, so to speak, then now they left looking for a quarterback. Which they did find one today, but they thought they had their guy.
Well, and again, Nick Saban said on his way out when he was doing his retirement, speech, why are we doing this? So what are we doing? So what's really going on? Why are we doing this? Where is the loyalty? And piggybacking off of Gino Ariana, if you're gonna make it a business, just make it a business. Make it a business. If you're gonna make it a business, make it a business. Just call it that.
You almost
Uh,
feel sorry for the small school because they don't have the budget that the Ohio States and the Alabamas of the world, the Auburns, they don't have those type budgets. To pay,
Again,
you know.
NILs have nothing to do with the schools. The NILs are sponsored by the Ram
Yeah,
Club, the Booster Club,
exactly.
uh, the ice cream shop, the ice cream parlor down the street. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
Different retails that sponsors, kids, right?
Mm,
But as Charles Barkley said, this 5 years from now, you're gonna have a total of 25 kids, 25 schools who are gonna have the big dollars to be able to, pay if an NIL, because again, as we said last Monday, all NILs are not money, right? So all NILs is not money. So for these schools who can afford these uh, expensive financial packages, you're going to have those 25, and then the other schools who, number one, can't afford it, number two, won't afford it. They can't afford it, but they're not going to afford it. They're going to fall by the wayside.
did you see Limestone College? It
Abs- Absolutely. After 171 years,
is about to close down.
they're
Y'all, they
closing
had
their doors.
94 football players.
They're $30 million in debt. That's correct. After 171 years, they're closing their doors. Yes, they're $30 million in debt.
Wow, that was just today. Well, over the
Well,
weekend.
this has been in going on since
Yeah, it's been
before
ongoing.
Easter. Yeah, yeah, ongoing. Yes, and with the football, they just had their spring game. They had their
Yeah,
spring game last week, and I think they did very well. They just had spring games.
yeah. 94 kids in the transfer portal.
Well, the 94 football, there's more
Yeah.
kids now, of
Oh
course.
yeah, it's way more than that. I'm
Absolutely,
just talking
absolutely.
football.
Yes, well, absolutely. And so I also wanted to there, and even though it is um, yes, they're in the portal, but whenever a school is closing, the NCAA, they have a rule. If the school is closing, it's not a requirement. It's preferred that you're in the portal. Of course, they can see you, but whenever a school is closing, it's not required for the kids to be in the portal for them to get recruited because the school is closing, which is by no fault of their own. But yes, it's 94 kids in there, and it's so where when we have closings of colleges and universities, where does this put a high school kid? Now you have a high school kid, and then you have the portal that is already overflowing, and now you
Wow.
have schools that are closing. So how does this impact high school recruiting?
Well, we had a kid down here turned down. I'm gonna put it on the screen. 750,000 in NIL to go to a school in Florida, and he chose to stay. And I want you to talk about what you've been saying the whole time. People see the number 750,000, but it might not be no money. It might just be in gear. It might be,
Correct.
yeah,
That's not necessarily cash.
yeah,
That is not that is not a necessary. And not only that, I'm going to go back to say the purpose of going to college is to get an education. Kids and their parents should not zoom in on dollar signs when you're investing. A college education is an investment. That's an investment. And the purpose of being there is for long-term gain, not for the immediate gain. And if you want to be a professional athlete, do like Cooper Flag and go on to the draft.
I'm telling you, man, you saw what he did. A lot of people like, oh, he gone already. You
Yeah,
know,
he's gone. He's one and done. He
yeah,
is one and done. Yes, indeed. So it is, we have to, uh, in the world of recruiting, again, the purpose of going to college is to get an education, not necessarily to play a sport. The sport is the vehicle that pays the bill. So we
yeah.
want to always stay focused on, the main goal here. Why are we doing this? Are we doing this for, a further invest in your career, or graduating from college? That's the end goal. Not to say, hey, show me the money, how show me the highest price. Because again, NILs are not always about money.
Did you see what Travis Hunter told the NFL if he don't get to play both sides of the ball that he might not play in the NFL?
Well, he might not play anyway because you don't go into a job. And let's just be clear. In the NFL is an employer. You don't
Is
go into a job telling the employer, outlining the terms of the employment stipulations. You don't go to a job and tell the employer what you will and will not do, because chances are you won't be doing it because you won't be hired.
but I think it's a spinoff of what's going on with college. These same people been shot callers in college, and now it's trying to roll over into the NFL. Man, you will get knocked out. One of your offensive linemen might let you get hit hard. You know what I'm saying? It's a real business, and
Right.
we
And
losing the focus on that part. You
and
know,
how would you, and I'm just, I everything is about money, as we said last Monday. This dismantling of education, that's about money. Everything is about money. So how would they compensate him for working basically two jobs at the same time, which is basically what he would be doing? So, because we want to break this down, in layman's terms, so because yes, this the NFL is an employer. So if you're playing two positions, how would they pay you for two positions that you working at the same time? It's like
yeah,
working two jobs at the
yeah.
same employer. How would they pay you?
That's the thing. That's the logistical stuff that I don't think that a lot of the people really just, everybody been a fan so long. It's almost like you have to become a new type of fan now. Um, because, especially with college basketball, it's college basketball like a real roller coaster. Um,
It's completely out of control. It's like it's a it's a monster that's just complete, total and complete. I say monstrosity is out of
hmm,
control, especially for men. The men's
oh,
basketball is out of control. The women, that's a subtle hurricane. It's still a hurricane, but it's a subtle hurricane. the men's basketball, that's a twister. It's just turning and turning and spin. That's just that's what it is. It's a whirlwind
Man, it's
cyclone.
it's it's I don't know, man. You can't really say what it is anymore. It's almost like, back in the day you could just, oh yeah, this right here plus this equals this. No. It's almost like you doing calculus problems now. Uh
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, recruiting is a big recruiting in and of itself. And let's just be clear, it's always been a business.
yeah.
People have not treated it as such, but recruiting has always been a business. Recruiting is a business. So when
Oh,
someone comes up and says, "Oh, I need some help getting recruited," what type of help do you do? Are you describing the free help or the paid help?
this the
Because
thing.
recruiting is a business.
This the thing that, I got a graphic on the screen right now. With some of the graphics, some parts of the graphic, you have the logos of the teams, and then some parts you have the actual players. And for the people out there, they might not understand this, but those are the people that the colleges want to see first. Whether whether we like it or not, that's how the business works.
Correct.
Everybody else is just a logo.
Correct.
Everybody else is just a logo. I'm talking about, this is a perfect illustration right here. Everybody else is a logo
Right.
to those colleges. The people with the faces, they are the ones that they're trying to pursue and get.
Right.
Everybody else is almost just like a logo. And
Correct.
that's a hard pill to swallow, but that's it in a nutshell.
Correct.
You know.
Correct. And again, the football is it is so competitive.
Oh,
Why? Because it brings in more revenue to the school than any other uh, varsity, any other sport at on a college level, on a collegiate level. Football has the biggest budget.
oh yeah. They have the
Yeah,
biggest venues.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You got those $100,000. I mean, 100,000 people see stadiums. Y'all, a lot of people don't really understand when we say 100,000 people at a game. We're not even including the people that's outside.
Correct. And with football, they have these season ticket owners that people have already selling out stadiums. Alabama, Texas A&M, Texas
Man,
Gamecocks. They're those tickets of they're selling out tickets.
think about a ticket at the University of Georgia right now. Gone. No tickets left. I guarantee you. No
Right,
tickets left.
right,
At
right.
a Notre Dame.
That's
No
right.
tickets left. At Ohio State or Michigan. No tickets left, y'all.
Absolutely.
And y'all, we talking about whatever the price of the ticket times 100,000.
Correct. That's just
Y'all,
on ti-
times
that's just on
100,000.
that's right.
Oh my God, the people don't get it. Doctor, the people do not get that. The math is, y'all, some of them tickets, some of them might be $80, some of them might be $580. So, y'all, it's different sections for different price ranges.
Absolutely.
Uh, and y'all, those season ticket holders, y'all, they pretty much pay for the recruits to be able to come on campus. And that's the
Absolutely.
part that nobody really understands.
Right.
They have a section exclusively for the recruits
Correct.
that somebody has already paid for them to come.
Correct.
Whether somebody comes that weekend or not, somebody is paying for recruits to be able to come on their campus.
Absolutely.
It's coming out of somewhere. It might come out the school budget. It might come out the booster budget. And then if you at Alabama, they got 3 or 4 different levels of booster clubs in Alabama. So I'm telling you, man, in Alabama, I think 107,000. So y'all, they're not even giving y'all. They're giving out at least 1,000 recruit tickets out of that 100,000.
Right.
Everything else, everybody else is paying for.
Absolutely.
Y'all, the comp tickets, somebody are paying for those. I
Absolutely.
hope you understand.
The
It's
will
some
call. Yeah.
corporation
Yes.
that needs a tax write-off.
Well,
And
especially absolutely with the wheel call. When you get wheel call, those tickets aren't free. Somebody is dedicated those tickets. Those tickets are delegated already.
yes,
It's one thing.
they already know how many people they want to come to this game or that game. And then y'all, when they say, oh yeah, we gonna squeeze you in, they already had you squeezed in. It's part of the recruitment game. I'll never forget the year Auburn beat Alabama, and my son and my nephew was on a visit to Auburn.
Uh-huh.
So my son was the first one to jump over the bushes, and everybody else started jumping because it was a historical moment, all that type of stuff. A lot of people don't know the school had to pay a $250,000 fine
Right. That's right.
for that. But believe it or not, one of the big time donors paid it, paid the fees. You know, you don't have to worry about it. We just so happy we beat Alabama.
Right.
And that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand is, it's nothing wrong with having a bandwagon fan in college sports because some of them bandwagon people have millions of dollars that they have to get rid of due to taxes and all that other stuff, or they just generous enough to give it to you. But I'm telling you, man, it's a real business. It was one of the schools, basketball schools. Somebody donated $1 million. Who was that? University of Florida?
Yeah, it's big business.
$1 million, y'all, exclusively for the basketball program. And y'all, it don't take $1 million to run a basketball program. I can promise you, I can tell you that. It don't take $1 million to run no basketball program.
Right.
I'm talking about a fraction of that. It might take 100,000 to run a basketball program because you're gonna have home and away games. Where you be able to generate some money. So it don't. Yeah, I'm telling you, that was just a generous donation for them winning the national championship in men's basketball.
Absolutely.
And y'all, that's why it's big business.
It's a huge business. It's big and it's growing, with leaps and bounds. It's only getting bigger.
Oh man,
Um,
it's and y'all, the stuff that we see are the pennies. Y'all, we don't see the big
absolutely.
man. Man,
Absolutely.
we don't see the type. They refuse to let people see the cars that some of these athletes are driving these days.
That's right.
Man, y'all would be amazed if you saw the vehicles that some of these kids have.
Absolutely.
That's part of the NIL money, y'all, that a lot of people don't understand, y'all. Somebody paying for them to eat at their restaurant.
Correct.
That's part of
The ice cream,
NIL money.
get the local ice cream car come in here and get all the ice cream cones you want.
I just need you to come by here by 12 every day.
Correct.
And then y'all, we're not even talking about the shoe endorsements and all that. That's old news there.
Right.
Shoe endorsements, oh man, they've been doing that. They've been doing shoes. They've been doing shoes.
Absolutely.
That was easy. Shoes always been easy. But I'm telling you, man, it's crazy. So what has transpired over this week? What's some of the highlights from
right.
your week?
Absolutely. So what is happening now is with all the tournaments over, it is straight full speed ahead recruiting. And I mean it is just straight recruiting. Other than with Pope Francis, passing away,
Yeah.
that kind of put a damper on things, for the days right after the resurrection. But right now, between now and I'm gonna I'm gonna say July for football and basketball, it's going to be rigorous recruiting, because there are no interruptions, there are no tournaments going on, no March Madness is over.
Oh
So
yeah.
now it's just recruiting straight recruiting you know
Purdue was down in at Southside Selma today recruiting. Southside Selma has produced some 3 and 4 star recruits over the last 4 or 5 years.
Awesome.
So and then matter of fact, one of the guys went to the league. So and talk about that. You know, the college coaches are they coming by, but they already pretty much know who they trying to recruit. You know,
Well,
you
let's talk a
know.
little bit about what happens when, and we touched on this last Wednesday too, and this is good that we're able to tie these topics back in. So, whenever a college is recruiting a kid, they're placed on what's called their radar. Hey, we see this kid. Let's see what's going on here. Who is this person? They put their names on the board. We call them the D1 board, D2 board. So when they visit these kids at the school now, the first thing that they're going to request, as we all know, is that infamous transcript. There it is. There's that word again. That transcript. They're going to go to the guidance office. They're going to meet with the football coach, AD, and they're going to, first thing they're going to do is make sure that they are, there's that word again, a qualifier. You're a qualifier by the by the NCAA, the NAIA term. So they're going to check your transcript to see
Oh
if
yeah.
you have more than 4 C's in any of your core classes.
Uh
What
oh.
is a core class? English, math, science, social studies, foreign language. If you have more than 4 C's in your core classes, you will not your GPA, your GPA, you have your weighted and unweighted.
Uh oh. Uh oh. Oh, now we speaking a foreign language now. A lot of people don't want to speak that language.
Weighted and unweighted. So here we go. English, math, science, social studies, foreign language. Those are we used to call them the 5 R's: reading, writing, and arithmetic.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Doctor, can you hear me?
Swimming class, your weightlifting, how many pounds you weigh, basketball, gym, cooking, whether you can cook in home ec, and looking at your vocational courses. They're not looking at those. They're looking at your grades in the English, math, science, social studies, and foreign language.
Hmm.
And they're looking at those courses to determine whether or not you are a qualifier. So you have your overall GPA. When we say overall GPA, we are referring to all of your classes, your electives, um, all of those classes. But when we look at the reading, the English, math, science, social studies, and foreign language, those are a part of the whole. So when you pull those out, those are the classes. So which one is going to be, more accurate? Of course, the overall GPA is going to be higher than the core GPA, because the core GPA is only going to have five of the classes. It's going to have English, math, science, social studies, foreign language. So when they say what is your core GPA versus your overall GPA, that's meaning what is your uh, calculated GPA with your, again, English, math, science, social studies, and foreign language classes. And so when the football coach or basketball coach comes in and he or she sees that you lack the GPA requirements, you won't the student athlete, you won't even know that they're there, because they're going to walk right back. They're not going to contact you. They're not going to come and get you out of class. And thank you for sharing that slide. Yes, and those are the different breakdowns for the NCAA, and the classes that you should have and the units. They're not going to come and get you out of class and say, hey, the coach from, Mississippi State is here, or Mississippi Valley is here, or Alabama is here to see. You're going to make that announcement on the intercom. Miss Reeves, yes. Will you please send Dante to the office? Okay. You won't get that call. You
So,
won't get that call on the intercom. Or sometimes if they have the phone, if they have the phone in the class, they know that they have to call me. The office knows. They know to call Miss Reeves on the intercom, because I don't answer my phone there, because when I'm teaching, I don't get distracted with other things. So they Miss Reeves, yes. Can you send Dante to guidance? And we
mm,
already know what that means. Dante has met the overall GPA requirements to move to meet with the coaches that come there to visit, and meet with the students for their recruiting process. And so if you don't get called, then you know that you're not a qualifier. There's that word again, a qualifier. Must be a qualifier.
this is like a high school timeline uh, that was shared to me by one of the college coaches. Grade by grade, parents, y'all need to screenshot this and live by this. This is your Bible to get your kid qualified. Uh, at the end of your 11th grade year, uh, you're going to need to ask your counselor to upload your official transcript. You can't add, you can't go like back in the day, you could go take all these classes your senior year to get eligible. You can't get eligible your senior year anymore.
Absolutely. They stopped that.
Uh-oh.
They discontinued. So it's no catching up. And just to be clear, we want to be, as educational as we possibly can, right? So just to be clear, grades K through 8, middle school, you don't really get a grade. You just
Yeah,
pass, right?
yeah,
And then you get in middle school, you sixth grade, you pass to the seventh grade. Well, let's back up. Let me stop. Back up. You have to pass English, you have to pass math. So you have to pass those two classes to be promoted to the next grade in middle school, say sixth grade, and then seventh grade, then eighth grade. So when you get to high school, the freshman year is so critical. It is so important, because your GPA, high school is your GPA follows you to the next year. So whatever that GPA is in the ninth grade is going to follow you to the 10th grade.
This the thing though. I'm looking at this timeline, y'all. This is a great timeline that was sent to me by one of the college coaches. Y'all, I got this from an NCAA Division One head coach. Uh, he said, start planning now. Take the right courses and earn the best grades you can your ninth grade year. Or ask your counselor for a list of your high school NCAA core courses to make sure you take the right classes, or find your high school list of core courses at the eligibilitycenter.org course list. I'm sorry.
Correct. Correct.
Uh,
Uh-huh.
so, y'all, this is valuable information. And my thing is this: if your kid is in the 10th grade and you hadn't done the ninth grade stuff, you might need to be doing that now. I'm talking about like yesterday. Uh, so y'all, it's never too late to get up. It really is, because once you get to your 11th grade year, it's over. I hate to tell you that. I hate to be the bad news. Y'all, this is why more ninth and 10th graders are getting Division One offers than the 11th graders. And now I guess some of y'all are starting to see what we mean. Uh, you you have to be eligible. That means you have to have the right core GPA. You have to be in the right
Correct.
classes.
Correct.
You can have the GPA, but don't be in the right class.
Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. 100%. And that's why it's so important. That freshman year is so important. It's so critical because if you start high in the ninth grade and you have a very high GPA, even when you go to the 10th grade, even if that GPA falls down to say a 3, you have a 4.0 in the ninth grade. It's just like it's very similar to when Gino Ariana says with the way that they practice is at the highest level, right? That's how they train. So even you're not going to play at the highest level all the time. So even when you slip, you're still at a high level. So what am I saying? What is she saying? What is this lady talking about? If you start in the ninth grade making good grades, all A's, 4.0, if you start with a 4.0 in the ninth grade, you get to the 10th grade, you may not perform because the classes, they do get harder. They're more challenging each year. So when you get to your sophomore year in high school, you may not perform at that 4.0 level, but if you drop down, you will be right at the 3.
Oh yeah,
And then if you get to the 11th grade, the 12th grade is virtually no way that can't you can't be a qualifier because you started off with the 4.0, that you started off high. So it's
yeah.
transferring goes from the ninth grade to the 10th grade. That GPA goes from the 10th grade, that GPA to the 11th grade to the 12th. So by the time you get to the 12th grade, even if like you said, even if you don't perform at a 4.0 level, you would be down to a 3.0 level. You'll still be at a B. But if you start failing with you have a 1.0, if you have less than a 2.0 GPA starting in your ninth grade, it's going to be hard to pull that up.
Look at the 10th grade timeline. Oh, I got it on the screen. It
Okay,
says
the 10th
register
grade.
for a certification account or a
Yes.
profile
Mm-hmm.
page
Mm-hmm.
with
10th grade,
CPA
yes.
Eligibility Center.
Uh-huh.
Hey, you gave it to him last time.
Absolutely.
Eligibilitycenter.org.
Eligibilitycenter.org, all one word, no spaces, .org. Eligibility Center, all one word, lowercase, no spaces.org.
Here it is. They say if you fall behind on courses, don't take shortcuts to catch up. Ask your counselor for help with finding approved courses or programs you can take. So, y'all,
Because
the counselor plays a major part,
oh
but a lot of the parents don't know to go to the counselors, but they don't know
well
what to go there for.
well let's start with the money. It
Oh,
costs a
Lord.
hundred.
Oh, Lord. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just because this business is the NCAA. They make money. They charge $100 to
Yeah.
do to submit. So you have to go to your guidance counselor and get a code. Have the guidance counselor go in and enter the school code. It's called a fee waiver.
Yeah.
So let's start
Uh-oh.
there. So let's start
Uh-oh.
there. Yes. So yes,
Uh-oh.
you need your guidance counselor, and also just credit recovery classes.
Uh-oh.
They don't count towards you can't do credit recovery.
Wow.
The credit recovery will help you graduate. Let's be
They
clear.
different. They
It'll help you
different.
graduate, but it will not help you qualify. To help you graduate, yes. If you're passing English, if you're failing English, you
Matter of
need
fact, I'm gonna
English.
go back to the ninth grade list.
Okay.
I'm gonna go back to the ninth grade list real quick. Hold
Okay.
on. Let me put that on the screen.
All right.
Whew. Boy, it's so much to it, y'all. I'm
But
so
this is
glad
what,
Dr. Reed
and
on it.
again, this is why recruiting is a business, right? This is
Yeah.
why your services, our services, because we cannot recruit every kid that comes to us and says, "Hey, I need help recruiting." It's too many layers. It's too many layers to this. And so when parents come to me and people, sending me kids, because and I'm just being very transparent, because I'm very transparent and I try to be that way, because I'm dealing with such a a huge amount of transfer players, kids that
Yeah.
are performing at such high levels. It's I'm not saying it's impossible for me not to be down in the trenches, but parents have to understand that in the realm of where your child is in Mobile, Alabama, or that high school, there are 10,000 other high schools that have a kid just like theirs.
Oh man. Don't tell them that. They
Let's
got that.
start. We can just pick one state. Just pick a state. Texas, pick a state. California. So when you're you have to invest in your child. You have to invest in your child. No one is going to recruit your child for free, because that's you at the end of the day, the parent is responsible for educating the child, not the coach, not the college coach, not the high school coach, not the high school coach, not the football coach. In some instances, and coach, you did mention this last Monday, they're hiring these managers. But some of these schools, the coaches, they also teach another class. There's
Yeah.
social studies teacher there. They have other duties. So coaching is just a bonus. I mean, that's an extra job that they do. When it's
I'm
over,
gonna
that's
say this.
it.
I'm gonna say this. Y'all, it is not a flex that your high school coach is doing this for you. You need to educate yourself with this.
Correct. The high school, the coaches are not responsible. It's nice of them to help.
Yeah.
Absolutely 100%. It's very nice of them. But it is not the coach's responsibility to get your child a scholarship. This is not the coach's responsibility. And I tell parents all the time, if you don't know how to do it, then you have to pay someone to do it for you. You have to invest in your child. And you cannot assume that because we look alike, that it's going to be
Uh-oh.
a free service.
We had we had a kid last year. The parent wasn't wasn't 100% sure that the school that they were at was gonna help her kid graduate early. So she transferred her kid to another school. And a lot of people got mad. But now I think since we're educating everybody, now we see the importance of all of it working together. Uh, my thing is this: that particular school didn't have any kid to graduate early. The school that the school that she left, no kids graduated early. None of them, and some of them signed scholarships. They did not. They did not graduate early. Uh, so the theory proved itself that this parent was on top of it and pretty much knew more than the average bear. And I say average bear meaning the street committee. Everybody think that they know this, y'all. Is right here in black and white. So as we go screen to screen, if you hadn't taken these steps, you need to. We got the ninth grade on the screen right now. I'm putting the 10th grade on the screen, but y'all, we're going to fast forward to the 11th grade year. This is the most important year. A lot of people think graduating, oh man, the graduation year. No, the 11th grade year is the most important year.
That's right.
It's a check with your counselor to make sure you are on track to graduate on time. Take the ACT or SAT and make sure we get your score by using the code of the school.
That's right. Now that code is the same waiver. That's the same waiver. That's the same code that you would use for the eligibilitycenter.org. The code for the SAT and the ACT is the same code for the Eligibility Center. And again, I want to encourage all high school uh, parents and kids. And what coach is referring to here is your IGP, your individual graduation plan, your IGP.
Yeah.
So you definitely separate and apart from playing sports. Let's just talk about graduating from high school because I'm teach high school. I'm still a high school teacher. I'm not doing it right now. Just take a little break. They have a little wig twisted and my wig looking for my wig. The kids got my head on a swivel. And I'm looking for my wig. It's down there. It's down on the next classroom on the next hall. So I had to take me a little break. But we want to make sure that, and that's a ha ha. You should supposed to be laughing about this if it's really funny. Yeah, y'all have my wig.
Look,
Yeah, y'all
I
have my
don't want.
wig twisted. So Miss Reeves, what are you talking about? This is me over here. This is me, and I draw a picture of me. This is my hair. This, and I draw an arrow. This is my wig. Why is my wig over here and not on my head? Why is it not over here? Why is it over here, Jonathan? Why is it over here, Janice? Why is it on the floor under your feet? Okay.
I'm I'm at the point that a lot of parents that have a class of 2026 kids,
Uh-huh.
they probably didn't even know this last little statement at the end of the year. ask your counselor to upload your official transcript?
Well, there's a lot of steps, and again, it's layers. There are layers to the NCAA eligibility center. There are steps because you have to clear, meaning you have to, get a certificate of amateurism, a COA, certificate of amateurism. You have to get that, and even in order to be awarded a certificate of amateurism, even when you graduate, you have to, again, we talked about this last Monday, you have to have an official copy of your transcript showing that that high school diploma or GED was what conferred upon you. It must be conferred upon you, and it has to have that seal. That you got to have the seal from the state saying that you have met all the requirements for your state for a high school diploma or GED to be conferred against you.
There it is, right there on the screen.
Is that what it says?
It's on the screen.
Oh, okay, yes. So yeah, you got to make sure
April the
that
1st, you have to apply for it.
yes, the certificate of amateurism, absolutely. Yeah, I know this process with my eyes closed because why? It's just unfortunate. So many, and we need to commit. There needs to be, and again, they say should the schools, some schools, take it upon themselves to give classes on this information right here. The school will incorporate a class on the NCAA Eligibility Center, and they educate the students. Other schools, they may not have the funding, but is there still, valuable information? Absolutely. Is it still required information? Absolutely. Is it the school's fault that the parents are not made aware of this information? Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
My thing is this: if
Absolutely
you come
not.
into your senior year and you got a 1 point whatever GPA,
Well,
you
you
might
should
not,
be.
you won't be eligible.
Well, you shouldn't even be discussing the playing the sport is off the table. If you are a rising senior and you lack the GPA to graduate,
It's gonna be right there on your official transcript, coming out of your junior year.
separate. Somebody was passing this child along, and they knew that they should not
Yeah.
have that the ninth grade. They pass them on to the 10th grade. So that's a whole nother set of dynamics, and that falls under the umbrella
Y'all
of the
getting 100 in
dismantle
PE, you can only use one of them.
the dismantlement of the Department of Education. That falls under that umbrella because there a kid should not have a 1.7 GPA. That's not even enough
I'm
to
talking about the core GPA now. Some of them have like a 2.5 regular GPA, but have that 1.7
yeah the
core.
core.
Yeah.
Correct. That's right.
I really think, to be honest, you know, to really help the kid, they need to make that a requirement to have above a 2.0 core GPA to play on these sports teams if you plan on going to college. And some type of waiver should be signed saying if you that you know that it's a possibility that you won't qualify for the NCAA compared to making a kid come back out there senior year knowing that it's almost impossible. Well, it is impossible because once you get that official transcript, all you really can do is graduate.
Right.
After that, once you get that official transcript at,
That's
at
right.
the end of the junior year, you should be ready to graduate.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing that a lot of people don't know. I'm sure there's somebody on here that didn't know none of this. Because they probably got a good coach that's probably doing all this for them, but it's excluding them from the process. So now you pretty much need that coach. And then now when that coach can't get you no offer, you don't understand why. It might be your GPA. Might be the number one reason why your kid, but he make A's and B's. And he only get a C, he only had a couple of D's in these classes. But these classes are the core classes.
Yeah, absolutely. And a D is not accepted by the NCAA. That class, when
At
you
all.
evaluate transcripts, they do not accept D's.
At all.
Just to be clear, they don't accept D's. Now the high school will accept D's then for you to graduate, but the NCAA does not accept D's. They don't accept D's at all.
But, I'm telling you, it's a lot that go into this stuff, and a lot of people think just because and y'all, this is where the park ball coaches, these are the requirements that they don't know. So down here in Mobile, we got a lot of park ball coaches who think they know the whole process. But this is the part of the process that they don't know, that they don't have the experience in. This is why the school coaches now, I said that last week, are more managers. You're going to have more managers being your coach because they got to get your kid across this line. And some of y'all going to be want to win games, but little Pookie might have to go to a tutoring class and miss practice that day and end up on the bench a couple games so that he can catch up academically so he can go to college. And you might lose some games. I would rather lose games and my kid be eligible than win games and my kid ineligible. Uh-oh.
Well, again, there's that word. It's called student athlete.
Uh-oh.
Not
Where those people come from? Where the student athletes come from?
Is student athlete. So that's what it is. It's student. You got to be a student first, then an athlete.
Oh yeah.
You can't be the athlete and then try to be the student. No. It's called student dash athlete. And thus the purpose of why are we doing all this? Because the purpose of going to college is to get an education. You must be a student athlete. You must maintain your eligibility by being a what? Student in the classroom. You must maintain your eligibility by being what? Maintaining a certain GPA once you're in college, because you can also become ineligible when you get there. You may be eligible when you arrive, but before you leave that semester, you may be
So you mean
ineligible
to
if
tell
you
me?
don't.
You mean to tell me
What's
I
that?
gotta I gotta do all this? This what the parents, this the part that the parent don't know. I'm a single parent. They don't care. They don't care you're a single parent.
They
You
that
either
well
gonna do
that
these
has
guys.
nothing to do with the NCAA, because it's too many. It's too many kids out here, and I'm very transparent, and I tell parents, you knew this day was coming. There was going to be a day that this child would turn 18. You knew that this day was coming when you were throwing those lavish birthday parties and uh you know going to these places, expensive uh sneakers,
Oh
clothing,
yeah, the
watches, getting
$1,400.
hair done, nails,
Oh,
all those things can all that money. Just imagine, AAU, uh, combines. Just think about all that money that you're spending, that you're putting out. If you put that money to the side, you may not need a scholarship. You
so
you could
so here
write a
it is,
check.
doctor. So here it is, doctor. After my junior summer, I can't take no more extra courses, right?
Right.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they stopped that. Yeah, just
Yeah.
you can't pile those classes up in your senior years. No more piling up.
Y'all, and a lot of people probably ask. I know one of the schools went to the last 3 state championships. They had a bunch of kids go JUCO this year. This could have been a reason, y'all.
Well,
I'm
it's
not
gonna be
saying
a whole.
it is.
Well, it's gonna be a whole bunch of JUCO kids because that's
Yeah,
that's just what it's gonna be.
yeah. Because y'all, this is the thing. The later you qualify, the lesser chances you're gonna get to get an offer.
And sometimes you can't. It may be too late to qualify, but like you said, you wait till you get to your senior year and you don't have the
Well,
proper
you
classes.
might just say you ain't qualified anyway, because you gotta be
Yeah,
qualified
right. You're gonna go
one
JUCO.
and two
Yeah,
years, the first day of your senior year.
it's gonna be a whole bunch of JUCO kids. Absolutely,
And y'all, a lot of them going JUCO because they wasn't in the right classes.
that's right.
Oh, I take them all my senior. They not doing that
No,
anymore.
you can't pile them up like that. No.
Y'all, it's right there on the screen. Four
Yeah,
times four. You getting 4 each year.
yeah. You can't. Yeah, yeah. You
Y'all,
can't pile up.
you can't pile them up no more.
No, they stopped that. They stopped that. Yeah,
Dexter Manley messed that up for a lot of people back in the day with
absolutely,
the.
absolutely.
Oh man, he made it all the way to the NFL. Y'all that couldn't read and write.
And could not read. What is going on?
You know,
What was going on? What was that about?
tell you.
Unbelievable.
And but y'all, I'm so glad Dr. Reed's on here, and y'all, I'm glad. Special thanks to that Division 1 coach, head coach, from the SEC that sent me these timelines so we can put them on the screen, uh, and further educate and help. And I'm telling you, man, these are resources that we have. It's great that we got a Dr. Reeves that's willing to come on our show and talk about this because somebody really needs it. These are the
Absolutely.
things that a lot of the manager type coaches, they're helping you with. Oh, I ain't never had to do that because they're doing it. They're going up to the counselor, getting your kid's transcript, making sure that the counselor, that the kid is in the clearinghouse, but you should know the procedure as well.
That's
You
right.
shouldn't be allowing that to happen. Uh, One of the kids down here transferred uh to another high school, and it was a big mess. But some people don't realize a lot of the outside people don't understand what the people on the inside was doing for that kid. You know,
That's right.
uh, you know, making sure the kid was in the right courses and all that type of stuff. So even though you might have had some assistance, but they have to still put you in those classes. So
Absolutely.
that's the thing. You don't know what kid they probably had to move out of a class
That's
so
right.
that kid can get in a class. So
That's
so
right.
y'all, this is why Dr. Reeves is telling y'all be loyal to these people. If you jump in school to school, that means you done had 2 or 3 different counselors.
That's right.
So one counselor might be a working counselor, where you might get to a school where ain't nobody coming up there for no counselor conferences, to do none of this. So every time you call to try to get the appointment, shoot, they might be gone. They might be at lunch every time you call. So build those relationships too. You know,
Right.
meet the counselors. Tell them, hey, I need to set up an appointment to see you. Go to these PTO meetings, PTA meetings, whatever. Go to the open houses and meet these people. So you can set up these things, y'all.
Right.
And y'all, this is valuable. Y'all, this is valuable. From the time you graduate, well, I'm going to start at the beginning. From your 9th grade year, this is what you need to be doing.
Right.
All right, your 10th grade year. This is what, y'all, it's something to do every year. There's no breaks.
Absolutely.
I don't get a break. I don't break. Even after
Right.
they graduate, y'all about to see. The 11th grade year, this is what you got to do. Not might do, have to do. And you know, a lot of people like to choose. Well, I'm grown. They got yes. This is a have to moment. And then when you graduate, you got to get proof of graduation on your transcript.
It's called a certificate of amateurism. You have to have that where there it is that your degree has to be conferred by the state, meaning the state signature has to be on the high school diploma transcript. You got to have that state seal on there. You got to have that official seal.
It is, y'all.
Got to have that official seal.
Y'all, this is awesome. And y'all, I like to thank that coach. I ain't gonna call his name out. Because y'all be talking about, hey, you recruit my kid. Nope. Just know that he sent us this to help with the show. He thought that we was gonna have Dr. Reeves on talking in college recruiting. Y'all, this is part of recruiting. Some of y'all think the highlight tape is recruiting. No. You need to be in the beta club. You need to be in the National Honor Society. That helps you too. You need a high school transcript doing some other things besides sports.
And you need a full game film because them highlights showing what you did right. They supposed to see everything when you when you were pulled out the game. What type of facial expressions are you making? Are you making any facial expressions? Are you argumentative? Are you cooperating? See, those things are you receiving the ball? And I have to say it. I had a football coach tell me, Miss Reeves, he's not a receiver. If he doesn't receive the ball, I said, yes, but he's still a wide receiver. He said, no, ma'am. If the ball touches the ground,
He's just wide.
you have to receive the ball. Miss
He's
Reeves, you
just
have to
wide. He's a
receive.
receiver.
Got to be. How many of those balls did you hit the ground that you did not receive? The
And
highlights only going to show the ones that you received. The whole
I got to say this because I had a college coach telling me that they weren't recruiting a particular kid because the kid kept dropping passes. And that particular team was still winning. But on the recruiting side, what you can do would dictate if you get a scholarship. They don't care your team won the game 75 to nothing. They just saw the part where you dropped the ball. They could care less about what the score was.
Well,
I'm gonna tell you what Dunn Staley told me one time. She said, one thing I learned. She said, I like watching teams when they blowing out teams, how hard they play when they winning. Because some kids dictate their play based off of what the scoreboard is saying. And you know, at the particular time, I had a kid, man, we could be up by 40. She trying to go up by 60. And you know, she ultimately went and won the NJCAA national championship. Left there, went to Troy, won a Sun Belt championship, and was in the tournament when COVID hit. You remember the year COVID hit? They were in the tournament. Yes. And man, they would matter of fact, I think their game had tipped off and they was upsetting the team. And they made them leave the building at halftime.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I remember that day. And you know, but I'm telling you, man, what are you doing when you're not blowing teams up? And you know, I was sitting there looking at one of my graphics earlier. One of the lower divisions have more college prospects, than the higher classes. We got 1 through 7A, and a particular graphic from the 5A bracket right here, it has more people on it. These are the top players I'm talking about in the country. These are some of the top players in the country. Well, we got another class that's a higher class, but they don't have as many top prospects. This is 6A division. They don't have more prospects than the 5A division.
Absolutely.
Some people, they feel like, oh man, we play big boy ball. Okay, big boy ball ain't doing you no favors. You're not getting this right here. 7A. We only got 3 kids, and it's 8 teams, or 7 teams in that region. And these particular schools are the only ones that have the big time college prospects. And that's the part that parents get confused. And I always tell them all the time, I got some of the lower divisions where they don't have any top prospects. Any. Nobody in 2A in this division have kids that's ranked in the country. So if I'm a kid that's sitting behind a kid, I'm trying to go to one of these schools to be the face.
Right.
That's the thing that I think a lot of parents don't want to do. They don't want to sacrifice. They want convenience. Wherever I live at, that's where I'm gonna go to school. But sometimes you're gonna have to go to one of these type schools, to get what you need and and pretty much get on a faster track to get there. And but a lot of people don't understand the ins and outs of recruiting, and everybody want to be the expert. Don't nobody want to listen to the expert. They want to be the expert all the time. And that's where we have a lot of downfalls. And just like this 3A, this is a 3A division. The kid in the middle, one of the top linebackers in the country, in the entire country, but his teammates benefit from him. Well, the team up here above the kid, right next to him on the right, say TRM. TR Miller was ranked number 1 in the state. Their best player went to the University of Florida. But they don't have anybody behind them. So now, that window is open, for another superstar to emerge. And, a lot of people think, I'm up next, and then here come a freshman better than me. Here come a sophomore from another school that transfers in better than me. And it's always competitive, but y'all, them grades don't go nowhere. Uh-oh. Y'all, this right here gets you in the door quicker than actually playing, because now if you got a 4.0 GPA and a 30-something on the ACT, and you're on a football team, now you can qualify for a presidential scholarship that can get you anywhere in the country. And now they can save an athletic scholarship and still get you on the team. So it's ways, man. We just got to learn them, and stop trying to think everything is free. Y'all, to register for the Else Business Center, y'all, it's gonna cost you some money.
Yeah,
the thing that gets me, I don't like talking about people, but the Bible says people perish for lack of knowledge. We rather go on a lavish spring break trip than to make sure our kids are eligible so they can go to the next level. But we want them to go to the next level.
Correct.
We want to go rent beach condos and all this type of stuff.
Correct.
Just to live a lavish life, and really we should be trying to help our kids make it to the next level and achieve their dreams. But it's always something, I can tell you that. But Doctor, you still there? Dr. Reeves, you there? Sound like your signal going up.
I am. I'm here. Yes, I'm here. We had some turbulence. I'm here.
Yeah. Believe me, I heard it.
Yes, I'm here.
But
No, yes, I'm here. Yeah, the phone went. Yes, I'm here. But yeah, so we, again, we want to make sure that we're understanding that your children are you have to invest in your child. And
Yeah.
so and to your point, lavish life, trips and throwing parties and boots on the ground and all this square dancing and where them fans at, where them fans at. All right, so
I'm
you putting
telling
them
you,
coin. I'm over that song. I'm over them fans.
telling you.
So
It's always a distraction.
it's
Uh,
always a distraction.
always. You know,
Always.
we have to learn that, you know, what our goals are. And I'm so glad that they sent this timeline so it can pretty much help people, who trying to help their own kid and
Right.
not rely on coaches and in that aspect. That's just like my old high school. Now they have two recruit coordinators.
Oh, but here's the thing: these recruiting coordinators are not giving the right information to these kids.
Oh, oh, believe me, these are. Look. I'm gonna tell you the story about them. Last season they had like 25 kids to sign, and you had people, and I say 25. That's including the kids that they helped at the other schools. Oh, okay.
Fantastic.
Because
Uh-huh.
see what I'm saying? But just like I told them, and some people, I was joking when I told them. I said, "Man, you need to stop. Y'all need to stop helping everybody because it hinders them, from the process. At least teach them the process so they can probably help somebody else.
Absolutely.
Because all it's gonna be is a revolving door every year. Especially if your school didn't help you last year, the next kid not gonna get any help either, and the next kid after that not gonna get any help. And y'all is gonna get to a point where a very good athlete is not gonna make it because of the parental involvement is not up to par.
Right.
What I mean by that is knowing all this stuff on this checklist. That's the parents' responsibility.
Parent responsibility. Absolutely.
Stop blaming your coach when you don't get no offers.
Absolutely. It's absolutely. That's true.
Boy, there was some parents saying, "Man, my coach don't know nobody." Your coach can't get your kid out if you ain't done all the steps. And fans, stop agreeing with these people. Now you can help them. Now you can say, "Hey man, did you get that checklist KT no had on the screen? Man, let me go find that show and or send you that checklist." Send people that got kids that play the checklist. Tag them in this show so they
Absolutely.
can go back and look at it. They need it because you got to make sure that they've done all of the steps. You might have missed some steps the ninth grade year,
That's
and you're
right.
gonna have to go back and go through those steps before you can move on.
Absolutely.
Oh, I just pick up at my 11th grade year. No, you got to go back and do everything that the ninth and 10th grade year, required you to do, or you're gonna be further behind.
Absolutely.
But y'all, the school year almost over. So if you're 11th grader, this what you're getting ready to do at the end of the year. Ask your counselor to upload your official transcript. That's what you're getting ready to do.
Right.
And down in Mobile, they got the summer school here. You can't make no more than a 70.
Right.
So, at the end of the day, y'all, that is why they don't want to give you a 95 for a course that you just took over the summer. Come on now.
That's
Come on,
right.
make it make sense. You're not going to retain that much information, sitting in front of a computer screen doing summer,
Absolutely.
you know. And talk about credit recovery because some people getting it confused,
Well,
you know.
credit recovery is for, it's for graduation purposes only. Say, for example, if you're uh, in your freshman year, you have a freshman English class, and just For example, if you don't, pass that English class, you can still be promoted to the 10th grade, but you have to be enrolled in a credit recovery class. And so basically, that's where you take the entire class online on Ingenuity. It's called a tool
Yep.
called Ingenuity.
Yep.
So that's what they're using. And so and some schools, they have a classroom, they have a credit recovery teacher that allows students to come in and credit recover different core classes: English, math, science, social studies, foreign language. And they will be placed on your transcript as a credit recovery class. Does the failing grade come off? It does not. They just put the where you have recovered that grade, and they can see that you have met the requirements in whatever that class is: English, math, science, social studies, foreign language. So that's how those work.
Y'all, this is why, and yeah, y'all in a nutshell, why a lot of the college coaches don't want to deal with high school because they had to deal with all this. They
Absolutely.
would rather they would rather go get Kiki from over here from Alabama State to come over to South Alabama than go get a kid
Correct.
from cross town at Daphne High School
That's right.
because that kid got to go through all these steps where the other kid
Right.
Alabama State then already went through those steps,
Absolutely.
and they have a college transcript to back
That's
them up.
they already know how to win. They got to
Exactly.
teach high school kids how you got to learn how to play on the 4-year level. A
Yeah.
4-year kid already knows how to play on the 4-year level. High school
Yeah.
kids do not know how to play on the 4-year level because you've never been there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's the deal, y'all. Man, we got all this on the screen for you. Just like I say, I appreciate the Division 1 head coach for inboxing and sending me these materials so that we can distribute them out to everybody.
Absolutely.
Uh, and big shout out to Dr. Reeves. Once again, she comes and tear up this region, tear up the entire Southeast with all this knowledge. On a Monday night where we normally be letting it all out, we letting it out in a good way now.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
uh,
Absolutely. And certainly enjoy the time with you guys as always. uh Definitely appreciate you having me on.
well, I guess we headed to part 3 because I know something gonna happen between now and next week.
Oh
Uh,
wow. We'll be ready for part 3.
hey, spring training
Uh-huh.
football. Here we go. Spring training football on the collegiate level is over. Transfer portal wide open.
Absolutely.
Uh, if you're a high school kid, you might need to start committing because what's gonna happen? It's gonna be somebody that's gonna pop up in that portal that play that same position, and yeah, they don't offer you a scholarship, but you didn't commit yet, so they're gonna go and give it to the kid from Alabama State because he already got a college transcript. He understand, the academic and athletic process of
Absolutely.
being at 4-year school.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Absolutely. You
Dr.
have to
Reed, I
do that.
can't get you off the hook now. It's almost time for the JUCO graduations. For a lot of people that don't know, the junior colleges
Yes.
graduations. How does that affect Division 1 recruiting? Because you have to graduate JUCO to go to a Division 1 school, right?
Absolutely. You have to graduate, and not only that, you have to have, and there's that word again, you have to have the right credits, because we have had some JUCO kids who took the wrong classes and they were not eligible for D1.
Ooh, so they, ooh, y'all, I'll tell y'all, man, we learn everything on this show. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
Uh,
they met the requirements for a 2 year degree. They had 67 credits, but one particular young lady, she was short 3 credits from being eligible for a D1 on the 4 years. So, and what a lot of people don't realize is, in order to be eligible, you have to go back to that JUCO and take that class, or you have to sit out. When sit out meaning you would be ineligible. You could only take classes. You would not be able to participate in a sport because you
yeah,
would be ineligible. But
academically,
absolutely.
yeah,
So you
and
graduate from the
athletically,
JUCO,
you know,
absolutely graduate from the JUCO and don't even have the right classes, taking basketball, and you don't need transfer.
or taking welding.
Welding,
Y'all, you still got to take those core classes,
you have
man.
to
A lot
have
of
the right classes even at the junior
they
college.
don't
That's right.
understand this, doctor. This is why I had to hit that because I know as a kid probably sitting in welding class trying to go to the University of Alabama. You're not gonna make it unless you got
Because
some other.
welding is a trade. They do not have this arts degrees is a bachelor's. So welding is a trade. So you're absolutely correct that it's a totally different classification of jobs.
Yeah,
Welding
you
is
get
not
ready
a
for the
does not
workforce.
require a 4 year degree. A welding is something that you could get, in a shorter amount of time.
One thing about it, I love the high school experience. But y'all, this is why y'all we starting to have more managers at these schools. And y'all, I'm gonna tell you why. You're gonna see more and more kids be encouraged to go ahead and go and join the workforce. And a lot of people might think it's harsh, but at the end of the day, y'all, it's the reality. Based off of the academics and the procedures they didn't follow. So
Correct.
y'all, we done laid out the procedures. Now you have to follow them. And some kids just don't. And now they're going into the senior year. And now, they got a kid that probably sophomore just as good as him. Instead of letting him just sit on the bench the whole year, some of these coaches are going to be encouraging him to go on and join the workforce. Go on, graduate early, go on, join the
Right.
workforce.
Right.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, y'all. So don't be, oh man, he made him quit so he can go get a job. No, it's the reality. You know,
That's right,
it's the
because some
reality.
kids can't afford. Some of them can't afford it. If you can't afford the basic, application fees and things like that, if you are suffering hardship, um, that may not be an option for you. Sometimes it's not all.
Imagine though, doctor, a 17-year-old kid, he gonna find him a pretty good, decent job. Just say Walmart or Amazon. Work that 25 years. At 42, he can retire because somebody gave him a hand up instead of a hand out. A lot of people want handouts. Some of this stuff is inevitable. You can't. There's no way around it.
Well,
Just
the
face
way
it. You
absolutely,
know.
and that's right, and nothing is guaranteed because the way the president firing these folks getting fired left and right. You got folks in Limestone. There's about 500 people there with the college closing getting laid off. So it's no guarantee. Nothing. You have to qualify.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
that's
know.
all
You
you have
know.
to do.
You
You
know
have
I
to
was
qualify. You
looking
have
at
to,
we
right.
was talking about the IRS deadline last week, and y'all, some of them people lost their job.
Oh, absolutely. They have a. If you go on Twitter to the FAFSA, they have a construction uh graphic saying that the loan process, the department is under reconstruction or something. Lord have mercy.
Tell you.
Too much.
Uh,
I'm so glad. Oh, the loan reconstruction. It said loan reconstruction. You go
and
to the FAFSA page. It says the loan they're being the loans are being the FAFSA page is being this under loan is under the FAFSA reconstruction.
I know you do the transfer portal. How many of your clients, just a rough number, are looking for kids in the portal right now?
97%.
Yeah. Yo, that's crazy, y'all.
Man, I say 97% because the other 3% they're looking for JUCO kids that are not in the portal.
God, dog.
97% of the kids in the portal. The other 3% of the JUCO kids that are not in the transfer portal. There is no portal for JUCO. So 97% in the portal and 3% non-portal kids that don't have a portal, JUCO, NAIA, NCCAA, the California JUCOs, and the NWAC. That's the other 3%.
I was
And we're
talking with
so and we're so busy with the 3%. We don't even hardly have time to go in the portal because I'm going to tell you, most of the portal kids that are really have recruitable stats have been are gone, they're committed already. So the kids that are in the portal now are the dreamers. They're dreaming.
oh, the dream chasers. That's what I call them
Yeah,
down here.
they're dreaming because all the good kids that have recruitable stats have been signed and they have committed. Yes, so 97% and that other 3% is like I said, JUCO sophomores and NAIA kids. And we have kids just let's not forget about the kids who were in the portal from last year because all the kids don't get out the portal. Their kids still in the portal from last year.
So it's still kids in there from last year?
Yes, sir. And the year before that, yes, sir. Yes.
Oh,
But,
God.
once you go in the portal, you don't ever come out unless you get a school. A coach has to pick. Has to find you qualify for what they need. And so if you're still in the portal and you're in school or you're taking classes, you're taking 12 credit hours, your eligibility clock is still ticking. So a lot of kids that were in the portal from last season, they just, they're not even playing. They just go to school and graduate. They don't even pursue sports scholarships and loans, sports money anymore. They just go on to school. Yeah, they're kids in the portal from last year. They're gonna be kids in the
But see,
portal
that's
this
why it's
year.
so important to be eligible. So so you
It's very
can.
important to be eligible. It's very important to be eligible, and it also it's very it's really hard to get a scholarship now as a high school kid. It's really hard. It really is because of Little Miss Transfer Portal. There's that word again. Little Miss Transfer Portal. It's really hard to get. It's very competitive. I didn't say impossible. It's very hard. It's not impossible because you have coaches. Some coaches are not even recruiting high school kids. They said they're not even recruiting high school kids.
Matter of fact, on that note, I'm gonna play that video. Uh, because a lot of people might be like, man, they don't know what they're talking about,
Right.
Y'all, let me play that video, y'all. We're gonna take a quick little break. We'll be right
Okay.
back
All right.
when we come out of this video real quick. Hold on, let me get it. Here it is.
We're not recruiting any high school basketball players. Not this year. We've already recruited Ruben, Lefty. Come on, we're building from that. This year, we're not even looking at a high school basketball player because we're losing Davon, Kadari, and Aaron. You can't replace them with high school kids.
Let me make this public service announcement to every single high school recruit that's around the world. The biggest, and I mean the absolute biggest threat to you guys has been the transfer portal, whether you want to believe it or not. When I was growing up and when I was getting recruited, yeah, the onus was on, hey, being a 5-star recruit. Hey, yeah, I got this or yeah, I got that. Man, I had a kid over the weekend, we played in the tournaments, talking to another kid, talking about, boy, I got 62 offers.
How many schools can you go to?
Like you only can go to one.
Well, shit, now you
Shit,
go to
now
four.
now you can go to 62. Damn
You
it.
probably can go to 62.
You feel what I'm saying? Shit, you can spend a semester at a different school.
That junk crazy, ain't it, doctor?
Absolutely, but they're spot on. They're absolutely correct. They're 100% correct. So they're not even recruiting. They're not recruiting high school kids. So with that being said, you definitely have to have a backup plan. Play another sport, run track, do shot put. Yeah,
I done learned this. This year I started back officiating track, and y'all, it has advanced so much in
yeah.
this era. And then on Saturday, I did the decathlon and the healthathlon
Okay.
on Friday and Saturday. And y'all, those athletes are getting major scholarships
Absolutely.
because you're talking about in the decathlon, you do 8 events. In the healthathlon, you do 10 events,
Right.
running and field events. So those kids, all them kids got offers. Every last one of them that participated, they were just trying to go against the other people around the country,
Absolutely.
competing for scholarships. Man, they had one kid. It was his first year doing it. He been in the band, and he done picked up so many scholarships. He not even going back to the band next year.
Well, and they give their band scholarships, cheerleading scholarships. There are all types of scholarships. You don't have to just play a sport. Tumblers, you can play. You can get a band scholarship, cheerleading scholarship, tumbling, acrobatics. There are lots of other areas to get a scholarship to attend a college than competitive football, competitive basketball. It's just a lot of kids in those areas. It's a lot of kids, and definitely a lot of kids in those areas. But what we want to do is we want to say we don't want to give them all the information tonight. We want to save some for part 3.
Oh yeah, we gonna save it. But I just had to touch on that JUCO because I know the graduations are around the corner.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what I'm going to do is definitely going to share some more slides with you, so that you can display them, because we know exactly where to go and look for the high school portal for the NCAA, and so we'll definitely get those slides to you, and then you can definitely share them and display them on the screen for our session on next Monday.
Oh yeah. Well, doctor, I ain't gonna take up too much more of your time.
Well, we certainly appreciate being on, and we're going to get those slides to you, and so you can share them with the audience. And we want to thank so much everybody for hanging out with us tonight.
Oh yeah, y'all. It's been a pleasure, and we definitely gonna have you back on, y'all. We gonna conclude this show. I am KT Thornton, and that's Dr. Reed.
And you have a good night.
And y'all, we are out of here.
We're out.
Peace.